Long before stock exchanges, banks, or financial districts existed, money markets began on long trade routes connecting distant civilizations. These routes linked people who never met, spoke different languages, and followed different rules. Local trust no longer worked. A farmer trusting a neighbor meant nothing when trade crossed deserts, seas, and empires. Merchants faced a new challenge. How do strangers exchange value without personal relationships? This problem forced economic innovation. Traders needed shared systems to measure value, track obligations, and reduce risk across distance. Informal promises failed at scale. Trade routes connecting Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, Egypt, and the Mediterranean became testing grounds for early market behavior. Merchants agreed on standard weights, commodity measures, and accepted units of account. These standards allowed exchange without negotiation each time. Markets formed wherever trade repeated often enough. Ports, caravan stops, and crossroads evolved into predictable exchange centers. Prices stabilized through repetition. Trust shifted away from individuals towards systems. Rules mattered more than relationships. This shift marked the birth of money markets. Exchange stopped relying on familiarity and began relying on structure. That transformation laid the foundation for every financial market operating today. Early traders carried more than physical goods. They carried information. Knowledge about prices, shortages, demand, and risk moved alongside silk, spices, metals, and grain. Over time, certain locations gained reputations for safety and fairness. Merchants returned to the same ports and cities because predictability reduced uncertainty. These locations became early market hubs. Consistency became essential. A unit of grain or silver needed recognizable value across regions. Without standardization, long-distance trade collapsed. Shared measures of weight and value emerged. Money became a common language between strangers. Markets did not exist as buildings yet. They existed as repeated agreements honored over time. Price discovery emerged naturally. When goods arrived in abundance, prices fell. When supply tightened, prices rose. Merchants learned to read patterns. These behaviors formed the core logic of money markets. Supply, demand, and expectation began guiding value. Markets coordinated activity without central planning. Trust no longer depended on personal reputation alone. It depended on participation in a shared system reinforced by repetition and mutual interest. The Silk Road played a critical role in expanding early financial systems. It connected East Asia, Central Asia, the Middle East, and Europe across vast distances. Physical transport of wealth remained dangerous and slow. Carrying full payment invited theft and loss. Merchants responded with credit systems. A trader deposited value in one city and received written proof redeemable elsewhere. These instruments reduced risk and increased efficiency. Trust moved toward merchant networks rather than individuals. Reputation became measurable. Traders known for honoring obligations gained access to larger markets and better terms. Default meant exclusion from future trade. These networks functioned as early clearing systems. Value moved through trust chains rather than physical transfer. Markets expanded because credit allowed trade volume to grow without proportional increases in metal currency. This logic mirrors modern settlement systems. Even today, financial markets move obligations faster than assets. The Silk Road proved trade thrived when systems replaced physical exchange. Mediterranean ports further refined money market behavior. Cities such as Athens, Alexandria, and Carthage hosted merchants from many regions. Ships arrived daily with varying cargo volumes. Prices changed constantly. This volatility encouraged specialization. Some traders focused on grain, others on metals, shipping contracts, or insurance against loss. Contracts emerged to manage uncertainty. Agreements specified future delivery and payment terms. Risk shifted from individuals toward markets. This marked an early form of financial specialization. Traders began pricing uncertainty itself. Time gained economic value. A future delivery carried different value than immediate exchange. Markets disciplined behavior through profit and loss. Poor judgment resulted in exclusion. Skill brought expansion. Governments later formalized systems already proven by trade. Markets shaped institutions before institutions shaped markets. This pattern repeated throughout history. Exchange created rules. Rules created stability. Stability allowed markets to grow. As trade routes expanded, record-keeping became the backbone of early money markets. Verbal agreements no longer worked across months or years of travel. Merchants needed proof of obligation. Civilizations responded with ledgers, clay tablets, papyrus records, and written contracts. These tools transformed trade into an organized financial system. Every transaction gained memory beyond the individual. Debts now had clear terms. Quantities, delivery dates, and penalties were defined. Time entered the economic equation. A payment promised later required compensation for delay and uncertainty. This practice introduced interest as a practical solution, not a moral concept. Markets began pricing time itself. Accounting allowed merchants to compare opportunities. Capital flowed toward routes and goods with better returns. Risk became measurable. Markets no longer depended on intuition alone. They depended on recorded history. These practices resemble modern money market instruments, where maturity, yield, and risk determine value. Ancient traders unknowingly built the logic behind modern finance by formalizing obligation and expectation. Trade routes reshaped political power. Cities controlling key passages gained wealth without conquest. Ports, straits, and crossroads generated revenue through fees and protection services. States realized markets funded stability. Armies, roads, and administration depended on trade income. Governments did not invent markets, they learned to benefit from them. Coinage standardization followed market needs. Rulers issued coins to simplify taxation and payments, not to replace existing systems. Markets already determined value. States aligned with trade to remain competitive. This relationship shifted power towards commercial hubs. Cities such as Venice, Genoa, and later Amsterdam arose through trade dominance rather than territorial expansion. Markets disciplined states as well. Excessive taxation drove merchants elsewhere. Political power depended on economic flow. This balance explains why financial centers often outlast political regimes. Markets rewarded efficiency, openness, and reliability. These dynamics shaped modern global finance, where capital moves freely towards favorable environments. Ancient trade routes did more than move goods. They created the first money markets. These markets relied on shared standards, credit systems, information flow, and trust enforced by reputation and repetition. Metals played a role, yet systems mattered more than physical currency. Markets coordinated behavior without central planning. Prices emerged through exchange. Risk spread across participants. Time became measurable value. These features define modern money markets. Today, transactions move digitally rather than by caravan, yet the logic remains unchanged. Trust shifted from individuals to networks. Networks became institutions. Understanding these origins explains modern finance. Global markets still depend on belief, standards, and participation. When trust weakens, systems strain. When trust holds, markets expand. Ancient traders solved the same problems faced today. Distance, risk, and uncertainty shape solutions still governing the global economy. Modern finance stands on foundations built along ancient roads.